share with you a really easy to follow framework for creating awesome online videos. Welcome along to FBP Live. I'm Chantal Brodrick, host of the Fitness Business Podcast, and you have tuned into our live weekly show where every single week I share bite-sized business tips in under 5 minutes. Now, here are the rules. Rule number 1 is I've got to keep this show under 5 minutes. Hey Patrick, you can be my timekeeper for today. And rule number 2 is you guys have got to give me some love if some of the tips that I share resonate with you. So I want a love heart, I want a thumbs up, I want a comment, whatever it is, share the love and let me know that you are getting value out of the tips that I'm sharing. That is the deal. I've got one more request for you guys today. So, request is this. I am sitting here in Sydney. It is a chilly winter morning in the middle of July. I want to know where you guys are actually watching the show from today. So just put it in the comments below. Let me know where you're watching from. Doesn't matter if you are watching live or if you're watching on the recorded version. Let me know where you are right now. I want to know where we've got people tuning in from all over the world. Okay, so this week's tips were actually inspired by our recent intensive show. Good morning, JT. Now, that show featured a special guest, Sean Cannell. Sean is a YouTube expert. He is absolutely phenomenal, and he came on, Patrick, Ontario, Canada. Love that, love that. JT, where are you watching from this morning? Probably about 10 minutes up the road from where I'm sitting right now, I suspect. So guys, make sure you let me know where you're watching the live show from or the recorded show from this morning. So as I said, Sean came onto the show. He was one of our intensive guests. Now, if you're not familiar with the intensive shows, essentially what they are is a really detailed, deep dive into one particular topic where we step you through detailed information on how to do something within your business. So we had Casey Conrad talking about sales. We had Paul Brown talking about retention. We had Jason Shao talking about video. And we also had Sean Cannell, as I said, just a couple of weeks ago, coming on to chat about how to actually start your own YouTube channel. Hey, Sean. That's amazing. Sean just said, love the YouTube show, watching from work, performance, personal training. Shout out to you, Sean. Thank you so much for commenting and for jumping on today. So guys, we're talking about how to create or a framework for awesome online videos today. Now, if you missed that show that I just mentioned with Sean Cannell, it was actually show 178. As I said, it's a 1-hour show. He goes into immense detail about how to start from scratch setting up your YouTube channel specifically for fitness professionals. So if you missed it, what I want you to do is just type 178 in the comments below and I'll send you through a link to that show. And Patrick says, Sean was great, love the intensive. You know what, Patrick, I reckon it was probably one of my favorite intensives because of how he broke down all the steps. So I'm kind of take a cue from him today with this framework that I'm sharing with you guys. Now, I've condensed it into 5 minutes, but for the detail of this framework, I actually want you to listen to the show, to download the transcript or to check out the ebook that we're going to be releasing today. I'll tell you a little bit more about that at the end. Okay, Patrick, are you going to time me for today? See if we can keep this under 5 minutes. Okay, here we go. So here is the framework for creating awesome online videos. There are 6 parts to this. So the first bit is the hook, then the bumper, a quick introduction, the content itself, a question of the day, and the outro. So let's break all of that down now. So the hook is actually that first 10 to 15 seconds of your video, and I want you to think about this as a linear process. So the first 10 to 15 seconds, it needs to capture your audience's attention. It needs to grip them from the very start, otherwise you will lose them. If you think about how we actually put the podcast together, we do the same thing. So we grab a piece of voiceover from one of the guests or the guest that's the main show as a way of kind of hooking you in and getting you excited about the content that you're about to hear. So same principle works with your videos. This is the videos that you're producing for a YouTube channel, that you're putting onto your Facebook page, that you're using on Instagram stories, wherever it might be, or IGTV. You need to get them in that first 10 to 15 seconds, get them in and capture their attention first and foremost. Part 2 is called the bumper. Now, effectively, that might be a consistent music piece that you have in your video. It might be showcasing your logo. It might be a certain quote that you repeat or that you refer to week after week. So that's the second part of your YouTube video or of your online video that you're creating. So we've got the hook to start off with, the bumper. Now, the bumper just really creates that consistency and that familiarity that viewers will have with watching your video. So it's a really important step. Step 3 is a really quick introduction. So that is about like introducing yourself, establishing some authority. So for example, you might say, hey, it's Chantal here, host of the world's #1 fitness business podcast. Today I'm going to be talking to you about, and then do your quick introduction. So we've got 3 parts so far: our hook, our bumper, and our introduction. How are we going so far? So far, so good? I hope you guys are enjoying this. Hey, listen, I want to just step in. This is where I go over time. Really quickly, when I think about creating online videos, or I think about creating a podcast, for example, I always think back to how our pre-choreographed body pump classes are formulated. And this might sound a little bit funny, but just stay with me for a second. So you can do a body pump class anywhere in the world, and you effectively can walk into that class having an idea of what to expect. You pretty much know that you're going to walk in, you're going to get a quick warm up, then you go into the squat track, then you go into the chest track. So you have that degree of familiarity every time you walk into a pump class. I think about videos and podcasts in exactly the same way. You want your viewers and your listeners to just feel comfortable with what they're going to get. If you have something completely different every single time, then it can throw them off a little bit. Whereas if you provide consistency, then they know. So that's why I try and keep this under 5 minutes, so that you know that you're going to get 5 minutes of Fitbizpiration, bite-sized business tips in close to under 5 minutes. Okay, so that's my theory on it. So we've done those first 3 steps. The next one is the content itself. So the main content, it's basically obviously the bulk of your message, what you're trying to get across. Interestingly enough, Sean actually told me that the ideal length for a YouTube video is actually between 8 and 16 minutes. Okay, the ideal length for a YouTube video is between 8 and 16 minutes. So that might actually give you a little bit of direction when you're thinking about planning and creating your videos. Okay, keep that in mind. The 5th part of this framework is the question of the day, or some way that you can engage your viewers or encourage a comment from your viewers. So for example, I have a question for you guys right now. So we are Wednesday in Sydney, we're Tuesday in probably a lot of other places, Canada, the US, if you guys are watching over there. So how many times have you worked out this week? That's my question for you. Mine, I'm embarrassed to say, is only once. I've only worked out once so far this week. I want to know just in the comments below to me how many times you have worked out so far this week. Just put a number. 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it might be. 0, if it's 0, just put the number in the comments below. So what we're trying to do with this question of the day, or with a comment, is basically trying to encourage interaction from the people that are watching our video, or my puppy dog just came to visit. Some type of engagement is what we're trying to do. So ask them a question, get them to interact, get them to comment. Now, the last part of this formula, 4 minutes, 38 seconds, is the outro. So Sean basically suggests here that we use on YouTube something called an end card, which is effectively something you can use via YouTube. And on the end card, you can put things like a subscription button or a link to the channel. In your videos outside of YouTube, you might just want to do some type of sign off, some type of a call to action. Patrick, currently doing your second workout. Nice, nice. I hope to say the same thing this afternoon myself. So yeah, you want to put some type of a call to action, some way of wrapping up the video essentially. So let's just go through that linear process one more time really quickly. So we've got the hook to start off with. We've got the bumper next up, which is that piece of music. We've got our introduction, the main body of content, question of the day or some type of interaction, and then we finish off with the outro. So pretty straightforward framework. I've only gone through the absolute top line of that. I really encourage you guys, if you want to check that out, if you really want to get super specific and understand how to do your videos properly, then make sure that you do listen up to that show. So again, the show that I'm referring to is 178. The special guest was Sean Cannell. He talks specifically about how to set up your YouTube channel, but we explore the framework in a lot more detail of how to actually create your online video. Now I've gone slightly over time, I realize that. I did mention right at the very beginning that we've created an ebook. So that entire podcast interview has actually been turned into an ebook. So if you guys are interested in checking that out, it's a free download. Just put ebook in the comments below. So you've got 2 actions to do today. Number 1 is if you want to hear the podcast interview, you're going to write 178 in the comments below. And I know, Patrick, 6 minutes. I know. I'm trying to speak fast to get through it. I should have renamed the show, shouldn't I? I should have called it 10 minutes of Fitbizpiration, but it doesn't sound so good. So I have to stick with 5 minutes. So guys, you're going to write 178 in the comments below if you want a copy of the podcast interview. You're going to write ebook in the comments below if you want me to send you through the link for that ebook, all about starting up your own YouTube channel. So that's it. Before I sign off today, I want to say a huge thank you to all of you who have tuned in live and all of you who are watching this later on as a record. I hope you enjoyed that framework. Make sure you give me a love heart or a thumbs up if you enjoyed that framework today and if that gives you something to think about for your online videos. Guys, make sure you check out the show that I just published this morning. It features Sam Mutimer, and we're talking about how to create your social media strategy for fitness professionals. It is phenomenal. She's an absolute expert in this area. We talk about Facebook, we talk about Instagram, all bases are covered. So that is today's show. It is show 182. You can write that in the comments below if you want, and I'll send you through a direct link. Over and out. I think we've officially hit 7 minutes and 47 seconds. Oh, fail today. Big fail today. Sorry guys, but I hope it was worth it. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you same time, same place next week. See you later.